Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Wednesday. How is everyone doing? Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, George. Good morning, Martinez. Good morning, people in the background. A little under the weather today, so I'm going to keep this one short and quick. We had some PPI numbers come out earlier. Uh, Headline PPI, it is dropping. It was deflationary. Core still holding up. Uh, but overall more of a pullback report in PPI, not much of a market reaction because everybody's waiting on the FOMC. Is it going to be a skip or a hike? Let's see. The Fed Watch tool is only 7% chance for a hike, so it looks like a skip is fully priced in. So the only thing that would shock the market would be the hike at this point. Uh, and remember, the press conference is going to be the biggie. The Fed press conference at 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern. Let's assume they do the pause or the skip, whatever they're going to call it. The pause would be the permanent pause, I guess. The skip would be if they're going to allude to another hike potentially in July. So we'll see about that. I mean, the last thing that was before the quiet period was they were sort of reinforcing that there was going to be no hike, and I don't see enough in the data that would warrant changing that. And I think the market agrees with that. So I will be really focused on the press conference and what's said during the press conference. Good morning, PMG. Other than that, let's see. This morning, healthcare plans taking it in the shorts this morning. AMD, after their little chip announcement yesterday, up another 2.41% this morning. Tesla still running higher. Oil still running a little bit higher on the bounce. Financials a little strong this morning. We can see the group scanner, basic materials, consumer cyclical, industrials. The only thing that's negative today is utilities. So everything is positive today. Fear and greed, in extreme greed. If you look at the timeline here, we are at very toppy areas. Okay, that doesn't mean the rally has to stop, but we're at traditional where it tends to peter out. So from my aspect, know where your trailing stops are. The PE ratio from just the standard PE ratios back to over 25, 25, 29. The Schiller is at 30.50. These are getting very pricey markets, but again, it can keep going. The S&P also just hit the next key minor cluster area. You see right here, you can see before I move this up, you can see right there. So what's the pullback on a minor pullback level? It's around 43.82, which is yesterday's low. If we look at that 4-hour, that's also right at the bottom of the 4-hour rotation zone. So that's the first level of key support. The next level is about 43.60. 43.60 gets us close to the daily rotation zone in case there's a big sell-off. The next key level higher, there isn't much until you hit this 44.80 area, 75% harmonic. All right, that is the next major area, and we have a harmonic projection there. So that's the next cluster. Should we do George's skip and rally? That's the next key area, 44.81. So it would still be in trailing mode. This is getting very extended and overdone, and that doesn't mean we have to pull back. I mean, we could hold yesterday's lows and start moving sideways for a bit after a rate hike. So we shall see what kind of correction it is, but would not be surprised to at least see a pause. The NASDAQ coming up really close to 75% harmonic, 15,196. And then we have the harmonic projection, 15,221. So in any rally, that's the minor level. The major levels, there isn't much above there then. We'd have to really look. There isn't much above here because we got some topping area right here. You see from these highs in March of 22, which aligns really nice with the 75% harmonic. But then The next major breakdown zone, even if we go off a key close, weekly close, isn't till about 15,570. Then we got 15,747. So, same thoughts here. I'm going to be watching yesterday's low area, the 4 hour rotation zone, which for the NASDAQ's coming in about 14,950 to 14,965. Then below there would be about 14,832. And then I'd be focused all the way back to 14,832 because this is going to rise up. So that's about 14,810 to 14,832. So that's where we sit with that. Dow is definitely in pause mode today. On pullback, key support now is coming right around, and if we drop it down a bit, a support zone right around this 34,273 to 34,375. If we start breaking below that, it's 34,150, and then there's still a gap left behind. To the upside, we already hit the 75 again. The 87.5 is 34,780 is the next major target up should we stay in rally mode. The Russell bounced up yesterday, so we had that pullback, the flag pullback, the rotation up, and then the continued move higher. Next target for that is 1938. And that's a pretty significant one. And then you have the next key target area above there would roughly be about 1965 to 1977. Pullback areas, I'd be watching if it does roll over today, the gap fill, and that's a prior resistance little closing high. So that would be 1900. And then if it pulled back bigger, it would be 1878. A business person. Hey, Chris. I think they're gonna skip. I think they're gonna pause, skip, not hike. Based off, especially the CPI yesterday, it was not hot enough, and the last thing they alluded to was the pause, and the PPI came in better than expected. So I think they'll give it a month. VIX still slightly elevated, but that's just with protection from the Fed meeting. A dollar in notes. Again, notes. Yesterday there was some pretty decent volatility. If we do break below about 112.20, I'm watching for what 112.04 retest. Any rally, I'm targeting the rotation zone. Dollar index continues to pull back in the flagging double top pattern. So next support area is 102.30, then 102. Crude continued its little bounce rally, but I'm really watching if it does continue. My resistance target is right around 71.50. We'll get shift back to the bearish side if we break below about 67.50. Other than that, it's right now roughly in no man's land again. Gold, after the PPI report, slightly up, but still caught between support and resistance, so nothing going on there. Your custom index, then we'll get to spiders and the Qs. I guess we're frozen. Let's see. Good morning, options 22. Am I still on? Oh boy. There we go. There we go. It's back. Just let me know in the comments if everybody can hear me okay, if it wasn't a streaming issue or an internet issue. Euro heading towards the first target, opposite of the dollar, 108.50, then 108.86. Where else do we stand? Tesla still going up to the 75%. All right, thank you. 261.22. We're above that. We're right at that level. We were higher than that pre-market a little bit. It's 261. Just go 261.50, and then about 271.25 should the rally continue. But Tesla is getting to very, very overbought levels. So it's definitely in trailing mode, but the 75% harmonic is just overhead. And you still have a gap left behind to what's that gap price? To 265.25. So on a rally today, watch for that. Nvidia powered up again yesterday. But there's this major resistance overhead between about 220 and 420 and 425. The spiders and the Qs. 439.81 on any rally is the next minor area, and then 447 is the next 447 to 450 is the next major area. Again, on a pullback, I'll be focusing on yesterday's low. If we do pull back with the rate hike decision, 434.63, and then we'd have a gap fill to 433.80. And then major support, not just for today, but major support coming in back about 430.50, which is the rising rotation zone on the daily and the prior 62.5 harmonic that we went through. Finally, your Qs coming up yesterday to the next harmonic area. Right now, trading 363.20. So just above the yesterday's close, or right about yesterday's close, 323.26. So 364.50 and then 370.10. Pullbacks areas are 361, and then your major support coming in at 356. That should wrap it up. Again, a little under the weather this morning, but do want to get some key levels out for everybody. That's where we sit right now. Yeah, quad witching. What's the max pain point on the S&P minis? I will have to look that up and get back to you. I have not looked at that yet. I wanted to get the Fed meeting out of the way first, and then I'll look up some of that max pain point and let everyone know. I'll try to jump on tomorrow morning to cover the unemployment numbers and to recap the Fed. I will not be on this afternoon. And we shall see if we can spot a max pain point. All right, with that, keeping this one short and sweet. So I will talk to everyone hopefully tomorrow morning. Bye for now.